Bob, let me ask you a quick question. Were you seeing talent being deployed aggressively? Financial services, a couple of other verticals that come to mind?
Yeah, well, financial services, which would include insurance. We see it in the retail space, particularly on the e-commerce side of the house, where there's a lot of in-house capability, a lot of proprietary capability that the large retailers have built. We see it also in the telecom space. But those are the real drivers. It's really financial services, telecom, retail. They have been the most prolific. And when I say insurance, I mean health insurers, life insurers, auto insurers. The whole spectrum of insurance is actually ripe for what we're talking about here, right? In terms of automation of processes. So.
Okay. All right. So, Paul, tell us about what you're trying to achieve there by engaging talent engagement.
Sure. So what I'll try to do is bring together the practical application of what you just heard from Bill and Bob in my role here. So responsible for accounting and our transfer agency business, you have so much reliance on people. As I said, just for that business at Bank of New York Mellon, it's 8,000 people. We're cutting hundreds of thousands of NAVs a month, net asset value pricing a month. We're collecting data from all across the financial services and from custodians, from brokers, from sub-advisors. We bring it into our infrastructure and we corporate action, we value, we resolve reconciliation differences, and every single day we have to produce a net asset value for our funds, for our fund clients. And that just takes a tremendous amount of people. As much as we've invested in automation over the last 30 years that I've been doing this, it still, at the end of the day, requires that accounting oversight and that people aspect of the business. But what those people are doing has changed dramatically over that time frame. We all know that technology resources are scarce and expensive. So our strategy here is to take our operations talent and retool them, train them, develop them to become engineers. And that's what the operations professional of the future is. They're not, we don't want people who are doing reconciliations or managing corporate actions. We want people who are engineers looking at our processes and re-engineering those processes. And we're using AI to understand the data, understand our exceptions, understand those issues that we have to deal that drive our 12,000 manual processes. And then we need a solution around them, and that's where the UiPath in this particular instance becomes very relevant. I thought Bill's description of the call center. I run a 500-person call center in my transfer agency business, and I'm measured on, do I pick up the phone in 5 seconds or less? That's my client SLA. And it becomes very difficult with the volume. The only way I can resource that effectively and protect my margin is to apply that robotics and that AI to assisting my call center staff. We've actually even rebranded our call center to contact center because it's about digitizing. It's about taking the data and putting it into a form and an intelligent manner that can alleviate some of the manual work on our agents. What we're doing is we're realizing that we have this just amazing amount of talent with deep subject matter expertise. I mean, we have tenured people anywhere between 5 years to 30 years in the business that know how to do fund accounting and transfer agency the good old way. And now, how do we retool that staff? So it's all around the people, the retooling, the development, and when I was introduced, I know Bob for quite some time, but when he introduced me to this Reviture product, it was absolutely brilliant, and it solved so many of my issues that I deal with. I have to deal with strategic locations where I'm building my workforce. I have to deal with the talent. I have to deal with the juniorization of my organization because we need graduates coming into Bank of New York Mellon to build the leadership of the future. I need a different set of skills than we did even just 2 to 3 to 5 years ago. I need to build diversity in my organization. I need a recruiting process that lets me really bring people into my organization that want to do this job, that want to be in and know and develop a career. So I have all this 12,000 manual processes. I have these people challenges, and what this offering did is brought those two things together, and allows, through Bob's organization, the recruiting in the location of my choice of fully trained college graduates coming into my organization and teaming them up with 10, 15, 20, 30-year veterans to learn this UiPath technology collectively together and work together. And what you have is the 1 + 1 equals a multiple of that. And all of a sudden you have this young kid coming out of college who's learning from the ground up what accounting is, what fund accounting is, what transfer agency is, together with the 30-year veteran learning how to be an engineer. And it's just absolutely brilliant. And we see not only the people development side, but the payoff is my return on investment. Everything I do, every dollar I spend, I have to have a return on investment. I have to have a payback. I've set a payback of less than 1 year, which we all know is very aggressive. But when you're bringing in this talent and you have the people who are dealing with this work day in, day out, solutioning these things collectively, with an engineering mindset, you quickly can solution some of the issues. I've committed to a 20% reduction of these manual processes that have literally been in existence for years. And I'm pleased to say that we've hit every one of our numbers. We're halfway through the year, where we actually exceeded our reduction of manual processes. So that 12,000 number is outdated and continues to reduce every day. We all know that manual process is the bane of our existence in operations. It's the reason I have 8,000 people. It's the reason I have errors. It's the reason I have a poor client experience. So eliminating those manual processes, job one, the way I see it, and that's why I set such an aggressive target for my team and solutioning it with the talent that I bring in the organization. So it's the practical application of this is I'm solving my people side, managing 8,000, managing to the operations professional of the future and building those people with engineering skills who are going to grow up understanding the business as well as the technology side and the AI side, as well as solving my client experience issue around manual processes and continuing to build scale in this business. I absolutely agree that if I can maintain the 8,000 people, as long as I make them value add, taking a individual out of a manual process, creating a manual report, understanding and remediating our reconciliation differences. If I get them out of that low value work and put them into client experience, responsiveness, quality assurance, I know I'll differentiate myself from my competitors, and that's our modus operandi, and that's exactly what we're doing, what we're achieving. Granted, I don't even want to call it a pilot because it's not a pilot. It's the initial stages of a relationship that will continue to grow. And one of the primary ways, and I know Bob will talk about it in a little bit, is how we bring people into this organization, how we train and develop them, and how we give them a career, and build a workforce that's in the location we want and with the right level of diversity that we need.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for sharing all that with us, Paul. So